Happy Friday, Joe. It's
Happy
day 5.
Friday 5, it is, right?
I know, eh? 5 days of having more than 2,000 attendees here.
Exactly.
Very youthful attendance. Quite a lot of partners that were
Key
here with us.
strategic sessions as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The key focus being emerging technology and how that supports youth, but also innovation holistically.
Generally, yes.
How do you feel about it?
I would say exhausted, but yes, really satisfied, to be honest.
Overwhelmed.
Yes, overwhelmed
Yes.
with both fatigue, but also satisfaction.
And excitement.
And excitement.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, maybe we can just go back to where we started. I mean, that like the roadshow, university roadshows, and like 6 universities, massive attendance, like excitement from all over Arusha, Morogoro, Mwanza, Zanzibar, Iringa. You know, it was really
it was exciting. It was also exciting to get views from them.
Yes.
Many times we're so concentrated in the big cities, but this time around, making sure we get everyone from everywhere gave us quite in-depth insights as well with regards to what we want to do, but how do we cater for the youth.
Perfect.
I was particularly impressed by the Youth Dome, by the way.
Oh, that's a new one, and that's your idea.
Well, it's our idea, and that's how that's how co-creation works. You know, we love to bring in the youth to these events, but what I figured out over the years is that they do not want to hear people. They also want to participate and to be heard and to be seen as well. And I think the Youth Dome really captured that.
To give that,
and
the ambience
as well. And also the startups that were there, the startups from CRDB, startups from Vodacom Digital Accelerator, startups from Funguo, everyone that was there. Well, that was quite powerful.
No, it was. But the session that took place, like I think what I'm getting from the young people themselves, like the career speed dating, that was like number one. That was quite appreciated. And that's why we're actually doing another one today.
Yes.
By popular demand.
It's back by popular demand. Great. Yes.
No, that was great. I think, the feedback we're getting, like the key sessions were really well curated, and probably could go deep into some of them that we have seen, like some of the more strategic ones. We know that Vodacom has been running a week-long Code Like a Girl and VDA, which is quite great. And on our side, we had a launch of one of the strategic initiatives, the Green Catalyst, to catalyze innovation within the forestry value chain. I mean,
which is quite timely, by the way.
Exactly.
It's about innovation, but it's also about sustainability and captures the theme of this year.
Perfect. Yeah. Yes, and of course, having the president of Finland coming to this innovation, that's a first.
And 3 ministries as well.
3 ministers later, that was really great. Yesterday was like the highlight.
Peak for us. Yes. I think one session that really took it for me was the public-private partnerships one, which speaks volume about what we do. Yes. You know, you have your public sector, you have your UN agency, you have your private sector as well participating, and that really captured what Innovation Week is about.
And that was actually focusing on smart infrastructure,
smart infrastructure and sustainability. Yes. But if I look at the conversation that's ongoing there and what we are actually doing, it really mirrors what we're doing.
Yes.
And what was being discussed in that room, which is powerful in its own way.
No, that's true. No, I mean, talking about yesterday again, we've never had, we've been doing this together for like how many years now? Like
11 years.
11 years. We've never had a session where we have like more than 2 ministers. So yesterday we had 3 ministries. Yes. One of them actually called themselves like Minister of Ministry, because that's President's office looking after planning and investment.
Yes.
And the kind of questions that were being asked by the young people is like, yes, that's actually what we are working on. So I think this proved that Innovation Week is another platform where we actually have to have policymakers engaging directly with the young people. So it was really perfect.
The icing on the cake for yesterday's event was the fact that the British High Commission shared a story with us, how when it started, it was in the backyard of the commissioner's residence. Yes. It was very small, and today to see it where we are with more than 2,000 attendees, more than 20 partners on board, but also that simple story of how this young guy that was a photographer at that event has evolved so much 11 years forward into having his own company and now employing more than 20 young Tanzanians.
We actually have him as part of the service providers.
Here.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's quite powerful in its own way. Yeah. And like you said, it's a platform. It's no longer just an event that convenes people, but it's a platform for people to launch their ideas, their thoughts, but also their careers, their livelihoods, and whatnot. Yeah. I mean, I'm very impressed. I'm grateful for the fact that we actually had that sit down in December
Exactly.
and looked at it and said, you know what? Why are we doing things in silos?
Let's combine.
Let's combine.
Make it bigger. Yeah, and it has proved so. I mean, when you look at Future Ready Summit, it wasn't started as just an event. So I think it was an organic kind of get together, like, Innovation Week remains as a platform.
Yes.
Let's have key events which are going to carry the week. So
yes.
Future Ready Summit now is actually providing that kind of richness, and looking at the kind of sessions which are coming underneath, like, yes, it was a good decision to make.
And I particularly admire the fact that, we are all different entities working on our own mission, but the goal is the same. The objective remains the same. You look at Stanbic Business Incubator, you look at Funguo Program, you look at Vodacom Digital Accelerator, which, by the way, the top 10 startups that we have selected, most of them have gone through the Funguo program or at some point were part of a design sprint that was organized by other stakeholders. And it makes you think whether are we actually working in silos, or are we all working together? And the objective remains the same. How do we grow the ecosystem? How do we ensure that innovation is part and parcel of the startups that are being launched and accelerated? But at the same time, it really is impressive how these young startups don't give up.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I mean, that grit, that passion is something that really it's beautiful in its own way.
Exactly. No, I mean, maybe just to respond to that question of working together as the silos. I mean, one, at some point we need to everyone needs to specialize in a certain area. But what we're advocating for is like, fine, you're doing this. Let's get together to see how we can complement each other. VDA is an accelerator, has started focusing on technology. Now it's expanding, but the value the startups get into VDA, they build on that now to leverage on the catalytic funding get from other people. So which means we need as many accelerators as possible, but as long as we actually pick from those that have gone that program. So we're actually seeing it work, and the kind of startup, even when you at Funguo we fund some of them, you see a difference between someone who has gone through an accelerator or in a readiness program.
Yes.
From someone who hasn't gone through that.
I
think we are basically realize that we need to build on each other and then be able to emphasize.
Which sort of takes me back to the road shows.
Yes.
I know earlier we talked about Ignite Youth.
Yes.
And how we as Vodacom as well are looking at tapping into university students, but also offering our Vibe program, which is Vodacom Youth Base.
Yes.
What is Ignite Youth, and can you unpack that a little bit?
So for a very long time, as you know, Funguo is supposed to provide catalytic support to startups, those who have started. But everyone who is working within the startup ecosystem in Tanzania is talking about we don't have a strong pipeline.
Yes.
Right? Then we are looking at the universities. We are getting about 56,000 graduating every year. Not all of them are going to be employed, but while they are universities, some of them started businesses already, or they have projects that can be commercialized, but they don't have support. So the Youth Ignite initiative basically started to look at those. Like those who have got passion for business, they have something to do. Let's support them while they're still in university so that we can make sure at least some of them can transition when they graduate, continue with business. When they leave, then they form a pipeline which can be invested in. So that's why the Youth Ignite Student Founders Fellowship was started. For us, it's basically to be able to prove that it can work, and then we can leverage on other partners to come in and make it bigger. So we are in a few universities. We want to join hands with others to make it
bigger. Yeah,
and it's working. We are seeing it working.
Yeah,
yes.
And you spoke of pipeline.
Yes.
With regards to pipeline, beyond the Youth Ignite platform, what else is there, or what other efforts are made to ensure that this pipeline is a strong pipeline of startups that not only us as Vodacom or Funguo can look into, but also anyone, whether it's Embed program, whether it's Stanbic. Yes.
Yeah. No, I'm seeing quite a number of them. For instance, there's Pesa Tech Accelerator, which focuses on fintech under UNCDF, who are also part of the sponsors this year. Sahara Ventures has been doing a great job with the MasterCard EdTech Fellows. It's within EdTech, but still startups. What I liked about that, it's an accelerator, but now they are putting on top of like financing part of it.
Yes.
Like they're actually financing deals. So all those form like, a strong pipeline. And when we talk about bringing foreign investment, at least they can find like a vibrant pipeline. Because that's where Kenya has left us behind, because they have a lot that people can tap into. So we need to create that also in Tanzania. That's what we're trying to do. So Stanbic with Incubator is also doing that. CRDB is coming in to do blended finance. We are working together, by the way, to co-finance what we get. So there's quite a lot that happening.
That's happening. Yeah. Back to this week.
Yes.
Right? So what was that one session that stood out for you?
Oh, okay. One, it's going to be unfair, to be honest, because I'm always thinking about doing like a top 20.
Yes.
Yeah, but yeah. One, I think yesterday was a highlight. I mean, we've never had a president, so having a president in a session, that was key highlight, talking about innovation and how it can bring together Finland and Tanzania, and launching our new initiative, the Green Catalyst. The talk by Mo Goddard, my goodness, that was, yeah. So that's another key highlight. Of course, now the Ministerial Roundtable, those are just top 3, but there are quite a lot that were really impressive.
And speaking of Mo Goddard, so we've had more than 50 side sessions throughout the week.
Yes.
One thing I've found very common in each and every session was AI.
Yes, there's so many sessions on AI.
And,
like, wow.
And what also made me realize, like Log AI, you have your AI, Tanzanian AI community and whatnot. There are these little pockets everywhere that is talking on emerging technologies, emerging innovation. And Mo Goddard's conversation was very timely, but also it spoke about what AI means to us as humans and how can we ensure that ethical use of AI precedes the fast evolving innovation that's ongoing. But also what stood out for me was VDA applicants. So we had about 20 startups that were going through the design sprint and then selected 10 that are going into the acceleration phase. And 38% of the AI built.
That's interesting.
For me, it was like, is this the easy way out or is this the new way out?
Sometimes I was at some point, I think when we were doing the 3rd cohort for Funguo last year, I was like, whenever I leave an application like AI based, like, okay, are they using it as a buzzword?
They love the AI powered.
Exactly. But I mean, what I came to is that one, it's not a bad thing. I mean, that's the new thing and it's not going to fade away anytime soon. So it's actually going to change how we live our lives. So it's important. It's a good thing that people are actually now trying to invest their time in there. It's a good thing that we had people like Mo Goddard to actually talk about, like, let's look at the power of AI, but also more how we can invest into it ethically, how we can use it ethically. And all these many, applications that I think it's also a way of like, let's understanding it better.
Yes.
Because we can only leverage it if you understand it. So I think it's a good thing. We just need to figure out how we can support more of those that are coming up. Like, okay, what actually are you talking about? And if they do not know more, that let's connect you to people who can be able to help you to actually understanding and invest your time into it.
Yeah.
So I think it's quite impressive, to be honest, this year, what we are seeing. Yeah.
You know, with any graph, there's the acceleration phase and there's the peak phase and then there is a plateau phase. I think we are at peak phase. Or we are in acceleration. I would say acceleration.
No, acceleration maybe, yes.
But peak, So let's talk about 2026.
2026. Is it not too early to think about it?
It's too early.
No, every time we do Innovation Week and then it's like, yes, we have done it. Like, what do we do different next year? This year, I think we have seen the power of partnership. We have seen how when we bring efforts together, what we can do. What I would like to see next year, I want to see more partners joining UNDP and Vodacom to actually do it maybe better. So we need to crack our head like, what else do we do to impress people? Because we have put our bar here. So how do we go beyond that? I think that's what we need to start thinking about for 2026.
Yes, and I like the fact that you highlight power of partnerships. As the saying always go, you want to go fast, you go alone. You want to go far, you go together. Yes. And this year, the private sector, the UN agencies, your government, I was really impressed to see the TCRA coming in as a partner.
And
but
also a session on that. There's a whole show on it. Wow.
And I really like the fact that we are all looking at one objective or one goal, having one mission, is convening but also accelerating SDGs.
Exactly.
If you look at each and every booth that is out there exhibiting, everyone's talking about purpose. Everyone's talking about one or the other, or maybe even more than one SDG, and how they're accelerating those SDG. And maybe not up front, but in the background there is that aspect of purpose. 2026. How are we as UN agencies, as private sector, as corporate foundations, because you have your corporate foundations also participate,
partners,
and development partners,
yes.
And now with Finland coming in as well,
joining EU and British High Commission,
as well. How do you the scale of that, and what does it mean for the youth?
Well, I think number one, and that's what we keep on talking about, the youth need platform to get information, access to information first, because that's actually what show them where the opportunities are. Number two, I think what I'm learning from this year, especially if you listen to some of them, like, okay, there's actually value. And of course, again, going back to the Youth Dome, that was a brilliant idea to actually have them there, engage on what they do, understand best. So next, I think it's basically doubling down on that.
Yes.
We need to make sure at least we reach partners early, because some of them like, I didn't know, you didn't tell me. It's like, okay, fine, no problem. We're going to do better next time. And let's start co-creating early to make sure at least we make this platform more meaningful to more people. I think that's actually what matters. The relevance we have already established that everyone appreciates it, so let's make it more relevant.
Yeah. And this year we attracted all ages.
Yes.
I look at Code Like a Girl,
yes.
From the age of 14 to 19, girls learning how to code.
Yes.
And that is the foundation of innovation,
exactly.
Meaning that digital skills. And
yes.
speaking of skills, were there any sessions around upskilling, reskilling, and just digital skills in general? Because we can speak of innovation without
digital. Yeah, there were quite a number of them, especially in the youth dome. I mean, the youth dome, there were quite a number of those sessions, but we didn't only focus on those, because for instance, yesterday, the whole day, the whole week, there was a master class on capital raising, targeting startups.
Yes.
Because, yes, you are in this space, but you need capital to grow. So how do you do that? So we actually organized that. Was actually happening, which was actually appreciated. We had right now, the session that just ended, it was about by the European Union Youth Sounding Board.
Yes.
Talking to other young people about opportunities and then we have the UNDP student ambassadors who are going to be talking about how can you leverage AI for learning and career growth.
Yes.
So there are a number of those sessions that have been taking place. Like, there are opportunities here. Look for information. This is where you can actually get them.
And also hands-on learning.
Yes.
This morning we had kicked off our bug bounty program.
Nice.
It's running until about 5 p.m., 6 p.m.
Yes.
But it's really focusing on cybersecurity and how to protect. So what we've done is we've opened our platforms to ethical hackers, so that they can.
Somebody told me that there are hackers coming
in.
What?
The ethical hackers. Ethical hackers. Yeah. So the ethical hackers are here and more or less learning on. Obviously, there's a reward, but also that incentivizes the fact that there is jobs in the cybersecurity space, but also the fact that there are girls in there. In my wildest thought, I think 2-3 years ago, if you asked me that I get into the cybersecurity space, I would have been like, "What are you talking about?"
what is that?
But today, now more than ever, we need talent in that space, and I think that is quite a good program. From our side. But looking forward
we also
to
heard yesterday the government is actually now investing in scholarship for data science, cybersecurity. That's impressive.
And we need that because where we're going, where the world is going, I think we have to be ready.
Yes, we have to be ready.
But thank you, Joseph.
Thank you so much, Zuena.
This was wonderful.
Looking forward.
Yes. 5 days of nothing but this. Yes.
Yeah.
Great.
So, thank you so much.
Thank you.